Now, students, we're going to study a second category of amino acids, that are amino acids with uncharged polar side chain. Now, what are these amino acids? Here, this diagram is representing different amino acids with uncharged polar side chains. These are serine, threonine, tyrosine, asparagine, glutamine, and cysteine. Now, the R group of these amino acids are soluble in water and they make hydrogen bonds with the water. So they actually have a net zero charge at physiological pH, but cysteine and tyrosine can lose a proton at alkaline pH. This figure is representing structure of cysteine and this is representing tyrosine. Now, serine, threonine, and tyrosine. These each contain a polar hydroxyl group. This is the hydroxyl group of serine. This is of threonine, and this is hydroxyl group of tyrosine. These hydroxyl groups can participate in hydrogen bond formation. Now, the side chains of asparagine and glutamine. Each contains a carbonyl group. This is the carbonyl group and an amide group. So both of which can participate in hydrogen bonding. So this figure is representing asparagine with carbonyl and amide group. This is representing glutamine with carbonyl and the amide group that will participate in hydrogen bonding. So this figure is representing that we have a tyrosine and this hydroxyl group will make hydrogen bond with the carbonyl group of the other amino acid. So asparagine and glutamine are the amides of two other amino acids which are found in the protein. These are the aspartate and the glutamate respectively, to which asparagine and glutamine are easily hydrolyzed by the acids or the bases. So asparagine and glutamine are actually the amides of the aspartate and glutamate, and these asparagine and glutamine can be hydrolyzed by acidic pH. So this is the amide group on asparagine and the glutamine. Now, what are the disulfide bonds of the amino acids or the proteins? So the side chain of this cysteine contains a sulfhydryl group, that is SH group, which is also known as the thiol group, which is important component of the active sites of many enzymes, which we have already studied in the enzymes in physiology, in biology, in matriculation. So in proteins, the SH group of the two cysteines, if we have two cysteines, definitely both are containing SH group. So both SH group of these cysteines will be oxidized to form a covalent link, to form a covalent bond. So making a disulfide bond. So when we have two cysteines united to one another by a covalent bond, united to one another by disulfide linkage, then in that case, these two disulfide linked cysteines are referred as cysteine. So there is difference between cysteine and cysteine. Now after uniting two cysteines, we have cysteine. So what is happening with cysteines? That both cysteines are getting oxidized, forming a covalent linkage, making dimeric amino acid, making disulfide linked residues. So they are making hydrophobic interactions. So they are making us amino acid having property of hydrophobic nature. So we are calling it as a cysteine. So these disulfide bonds are the structure of the proteins by forming the covalent links between the parts of amino acid molecules or protein molecules or between two different polypeptide chains. You can find these disulfide bonds in different proteins, in different body structures. For example, our hair, our skin also contain the disulfide linkages. So many extracellular proteins are also stabilized by these disulfide bonds. We have example of the albumin. We have already discussed albumin in our previous lectures. Albumin is a blood protein that function as a transporter for different molecules, is also an example of a disulfide bond. Now, side chain as attachment site for other compounds. So polar hydroxyl groups of serine, threonine, and tyrosine can also serve as site of attachment for structures. They have ability to unite or attract or attach the phosphate groups. So in addition, the amide groups of the asparagine as well as the hydroxyl groups of the serine or the threonine can serve as a site of attachment for oligosaccharide side chains in the glycoproteins. So this was all about the amino acids which were having a side chain. So these were the example of the amino acids which were actually the uncharged polar side chains. So in this lecture, we have studied amino acids with uncharged polar side chains.